Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoilery discussion for Darkdawn by Jay Kristoff. As I said, this video will have spoilers in it, so if you have not read this book, go ahead and check out my spoiler-free review, which is linked on the screen. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. One of the things that I was most looking forward to and kind of seeing how it was handled was the Mia Ashlyn Trick dynamic, with Trick being revealed to be back in Godsgrave. Like I mentioned in my Godsgrave review, I thought that he was going to come back. Like, I knew that he was going to come back. I always suspected that Trick wasn't like fully dead, so I was very intrigued to see like how this was going to work out with him back. And I actually thought this was really well handled. So I wasn't sure if they were going to end up being like an OT3. A piece of my heart kind of wanted that, but as I read the story, I was like, there's no way this would have worked out. And I actually read a deleted scene that you got if the book was pre-ordered. Someone sent me their deleted scene so I could read it. And there's a deleted scene where all three do get together. It's a smut scene, but ultimately it was like Jay Kristoff said in the author note that he felt like that didn't work, and there was so much between them all that they couldn't have all gotten together. And when I was reading the scene, I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. This feels icky because there's so much here. And it was so satisfying to have like the Trick and Ash like forgiveness scene, and that was enough. I kind of wish that Trick and Mia would have gotten more of a resolution. I kind of wanted them to be able to hook up, not the three of them together, because like I said, there's too much there for that to work out, for them to be like polyamorous or anything like that. But I kind of wish that Ash would have sort of like understood and given permission, sort of, because Mia was never going to ask for that, but kind of been like, you guys love each other too, I want Mia to be happy, get together, you know, like, because the scene where like they almost did, I was like, I kind of want them to, but I don't want her to like be unfaithful to Ash, but I kind of want this to be a conversation where like it's almost like an open relationship, I guess. So I think I would have liked that the most, but I understand also why like it couldn't happen. There's more things going on than just the romantic relationships, big important things, I get that, but I kind of wanted everyone to kiss. Not Ash and Trick, I didn't want them to kiss, but I wanted everyone to kiss Mia. I also really appreciate how that dynamic shows very different kinds of love. Like, Ash is always kind of the more selfish one, and Trick isn't. Trick's character in this was so good because he was so selfless, and I was so expecting him to... Obviously he's mad at Ash, and he brings it up that she killed him. Like, obviously, valid point. But he could have been so much more angry and douchey than he was. And actually, Ash was the one that was like so much more sort of spiteful about the relationship, which I think worked for her character. I actually really like Ash and Mia together. I discovered after reading this book and going and looking up like the fandom, that the fandom, like a lot of the fandom hates Ash and Mia, and I'm like, why? I feel like there's some homophobia in there a little bit. Like, yes, is Ash a bad character? Yes, but they're all murderers and murder innocent people. Like, even Trick did before he died. He murdered an innocent to get into the assassin school. Like, we don't have the same moral code here, guys. But I do love that Trick, even though he couldn't be with Mia, still loved her. He fought his way back for her. And even though he couldn't be with her, it wasn't like he turned into an asshole and like tried to ruin everything. Like, he saw that she was happy with Ash and he wanted her to be happy. And then when he like dies, again, to show Ash the way back. I did talk to Sarah Jane after I read this, and she was like, oh, I don't really like that because I feel like if Ash really wanted to be there, she should have fought her way back too. And I'm like, you know what? It actually makes sense to me that Ash couldn't, you know, like, and that Trick had to, because Trick was so much more selfless than Ash was. And I don't think that means that Ash loves Mia less. I think they just love Mia differently. And I liked that they showed those different dynamics. I wish we would have gotten more of a resolution, but the one that we did get was kind of bittersweet with her like kissing him goodbye and stuff. Like, it was good. Also happy that Mia gets a happy sapphic ending. I was upset when Ash died because I was like, is she really gonna be dead? And I was kind of gonna forgive it, like, even though it is like a bury your gaze trope, I was kind of gonna be like, okay, this world is so brutal, like, it's not like it's targeting the lesbians or anything. But then when she came back, I was like, that's fine. Like, I know all the characters, like the main three, came back to life, and that's a little much, but I'm honestly like, I don't care. Like, I feel like they earned it. Like, I feel like it's deserved. It doesn't feel, I don't know, like, it feels okay to me. Like, I'm forgiving it, even though usually I'd be like, that's too many, like, that's so much. Is this the Vampire Diaries? But I'm okay with that, actually, because they've all suffered so much. And I just want Mia to be happy and to be able to, like, rest in peace, you know? Like, her other people don't know she's alive. She's basically dead in everyone else's eyes, and she just gets to rest. And I feel like she's earned it. So moving away from the romantic stuff, I also really liked the Jonin progression. I feel like that was so interesting with him going from like really hating her and saying that he was Lucius to being like, I am Jonin, but then also having that moment at the end where he's showing his dad the things to do because he's a kid, and the book keeps reminding you like he is a kid, don't blame him, because I feel like if the book hadn't done that I would have been like, you little asshole, but the book was like, he's 9, like you forgive him, he hated himself while he was doing this. But like, for example, when Eclipse dies, it's like, it's because, you know, Jonin doesn't have the power to like stop it, but it's like the book's like he's 9. And I enjoyed that. Like, it makes sense that he reacted the way that a 9-year-old would react. I also really love, and I was hoping this would happen, that Jonin dealt the killing blow to his dad ultimately. Like, I really wanted Jonin to be the one to do it because he also had his life forever changed by this man, and the fact that he was eventually the one that like did the killing blow and tipped the scales for Mia was so good. Going back a bit, I also really liked Cloud Corleone and the pirates. The pirate theme, so good. Like, this series has everything that I love. It has assassins, it has gladiators, and it has pirates, and they're all in this really cool, like, Roman-inspired setting, and it's just so amazing. I just really love that. And I do love that Mia became a pirate queen. It gives me so many Pirates of the Caribbean vibes, I just can't. Was the pirate queen fight a little quick? Yes, that's one of the things that I mentioned in my review where I was like, some of the pacing things were so fast that it's not that they didn't feel earned, because again, I feel like Mia being overpowered in this book, I'm totally fine with. Like, I'm totally fine that some things that should be hard are easy for her at this point because it's fucking Mia. She's proven to me that she can do this. You don't need to prove to me over and over again that she can. But there was some moments like that where I'm like, it should have been a little bit harder than that, because they keep pounding into your head that this guy is like such a badass, so feared, like really just like a nasty guy, and then she just like kills him instantly, which I'm like, I'm torn because I'm like, I love it, but also I'm like, it should have been a little bit harder than that, but I also love it and I'm fine. Same thing happened with the Cleo fight when we finally got to Cleo, and Cleo's this like powerful Darkin that has all of these shadows and everything, and it's like she kills her pretty quick, and I'm like, okay, like that should have been like more of a boss fight. Although again, like I'm fine that she is overpowered and like could kill everybody. Like, I'm fine with that because she's earned it. She is our protagonist. She's earned it over the course of 3 books. Like, I'm totally fine. But there were so many potential boss battles in this book that I'm kind of fine that the other 2 with the pirate and with Cleo were like kind of brushed over to get to the ultimate one. I also really liked that moment where she's shadow jumping through the ocean. That was such a cool moment, like such a cool ability. The things that she does in this book are just so amazing because it's like, again, they feel earned. Like, is the stuff so like incredibly overpowered at times? Yes, but I don't care because she earned it, damn it. When we got to the part in the mountain and the print goes smaller, I thought my book had an error in it. I was like, I'm not paying attention. And then it got to the point where it was like, that was just part of the book. I'm like, you got me. I love that Jay Kristoff put his books in the story. That is so cool. And I also like that, like, it breaks the fourth wall a bit because he's like making fun of his footnotes that people complain about, even though I love them, in there. And it's like, even a point, there's a footnote where he's like, but you thought these were gone because people are making fun of them, but they're not. Like, I loved that. I loved the putting the books within the story and using them to trick the assassins. So cool. I will say that I love Spider Killer like the most, I think, of all the assassin teachers, and so I did love that she ultimately killed Ash. Like, the way that Ash died was so clever and so evil because you have this poison moment and then you're like, and then you go to get the poison like antidotes and there's none there, and it's just this moment of like, oh my god, like she did it. And then when there's a spider in the last like antidote, it was good. Like, I actually like that that's how Spider Killer got her revenge, but then that Ash came back and killed her. Like, that all was so satisfying. And ultimately, at the very end, I liked that the theme was balanced, that she restores the moon like blots out the other suns, and there is balance in the world. And I like also that Mia sort of helped the moon in the end. Like, she came to that other plane of existence and was like, hold back, don't tip the scale so then it's just all dark. I know that you're angry, I get it, I've been there. Like, the way that their lives mirrored each other I think was so interesting and cool, and I like that, like, ultimately the theme was to find balance and to find peace and for there to be dark and light and the moon and the sun and everything, and also just like breaking down a lot of this like generational family trauma that they all have and everything, like so good. And then everyone gets to rest in the end. Everyone gets to rest. Oh, and I love that Mr. Kitely came back at the end. I didn't mention that. I mean, I always knew that he was going to, like when she sent him away and like, and I like that there's a lot of moments here where she didn't have her shadow companions with her because it just proved that like she's a badass even without those things. But I'm glad that he came back in the end and he was there with her. So that is it for my discussion. I'm sure I've left some stuff out, but ultimately like that's all of the really big feeling things, and the stuff with Mercurio being like her little like found dad, like all that was really cute. I just love how Mia finally realized that she loves and cares about people and has a little family, even though her family that she thought that she had wasn't all what that she thought that it was, and her like little found family is so important. It's so good. This series was so good. I'm so happy that I read it. So comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.